Every third person in developed countries lives alone. Can you believe that? According to the World Health Organization, loneliness is becoming a global epidemic, affecting our health almost as much as nicotine addiction. And yet, we've never been more connected. Hundreds of friends on social media, endless ways to meet someone with a click. So why do so many of us still feel invisible? Why do deep, meaningful connections feel so out of reach? Have you ever felt that way yourself? The answer often lies somewhere we don't talk about enough. It's not about not meeting the right person, it's about something deeper. Attachment trauma. That invisible wound that makes us run from the people we love and sometimes even sabotage our own happiness. Can you see how that might happen without us even realizing it? Before we go deeper into the psychology, let's look at some numbers. Because this isn't just anecdotal. This is real, measurable, statistically confirmed. According to the ACE study, Adverse Childhood Experiences, over 60% of adults have experienced at least one form of significant adversity in childhood. We're talking physical or emotional trauma, neglect, parental addiction, depression, the list goes on. Each of these experiences makes it much more likely that someone will struggle to form healthy relationships later in life. Does that surprise you? And here's something striking. Psychological services report that up to 40% of couples therapy cases are connected to unprocessed attachment trauma in one or both partners. Neurobiological research shows something really interesting. People with attachment trauma often have 20 to 30% higher amygdala activity. That's the part of the brain that handles fear and anxiety. Basically, their alarm system is always on. Can you imagine what that feels like day to day? Behind these numbers are millions of people unconsciously recreating the pain of their childhood simply because their nervous system doesn't yet know another way to be. Does that resonate with you? So, what actually happens inside? Attachment trauma puts our nervous system on a kind of autopilot, an autopilot of pain, and it works in a few key ways. First, there's nervous system dysregulation. A traumatized nervous system lives in a state of constant alert. For this person, an intimate conversation doesn't feel like closeness, it feels like a battlefield. Someone trying to get close is subconsciously perceived as a threat. The body reacts, racing heart, tense muscles, the urge to run. It's not a choice, it's biology. Always fight, flight, or freeze mode. Can you see how that could make relationships feel exhausting? Next, there's a broken emotional compass. About 10% of people experience alexithymia, the inability to identify and name emotions. I just feel bad. Might be their whole emotional vocabulary. Trauma teaches the mind to disconnect from feelings to survive. So someone can't say, "I'm scared you'll leave me." They just retreat or start a fight. Have you ever noticed that happening to yourself or someone close to you? Then there are survival strategies. Fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. These were once brilliant adaptations. They helped a child survive in chaos. But as adults, they become destructive. Fight, constant conflict, jealousy, control. Flight, avoiding serious topics, sabotaging closeness, hiding in work. Freeze, emotional shutdown, withdrawal, disappearing in conflict. Fawn, people-pleasing, no boundaries, tolerating toxicity out of fear of being alone. And finally, triggers and body memory. The body remembers everything. A tone of voice, a facial expression, a gesture. Any of these can throw the nervous system back to the original trauma. And the reaction might seem extreme, but it's not about the partner. It's about a ghost from the past. Can you think of a time when you reacted strongly, but later realized it wasn't really about the present moment? This is how the vicious cycle forms. A person with trauma believes, "I'm not lovable, I'll be abandoned," and then they behave accordingly. Jealousy, control, distance. The partner, understandably, pulls away, and the inner voice of trauma whispers, "See, I told you, people always leave." The wound deepens, and the cycle continues. But here's the good news. The nervous system is plastic. The brain can rewire itself.
Healing isn't about forgetting the past, it's about rewiring your autopilot. Research shows that combining psychotherapy with body based practices works best. It's not enough to just talk about the trauma, the body needs to feel safe again. Somatic therapy, yoga, breath work, EMDR, these all help the brain process old trauma, release its emotional charge, and create new healthy patterns. EMDR, by the way, is recognized by the World Health Organization as an evidence based treatment for trauma. Attachment trauma teaches us to survive. Healing allows us to live. It's not a quick path, but it's a journey. From mistrust to cautious trust, from fear to accepting vulnerability, from living in a fortress of isolation to creating a warm, open home inside yourself. A home you can let someone into without fear of being destroyed. Can you imagine what that would feel like? Your story deserves a different ending. Not one written by old pain, but one you choose yourself. Reaching out for help is not weakness, it's strength. You're not to blame for what happened to you, but you are responsible for your healing. And yes, your relationships can become a safe place.